Hey guys, we are so excited to share this masterclass for growth and attraction today. Nadia is going to tell you the title here in a minute, but I'm Amy Weaver, Senior Vice President of Growth for the US.
And I'm Nadia Habib, Senior Vice President of Growth for Canada, and we're super excited to be sharing this Executive Masterclass with you today.
And I think we titled it Building a Legacy Through Growth and Production, or Building a Legacy Through Production and Growth. But we're going to be talking about both today. So we want to start out by just asking yourself, or you're asking us, like, why should I care about attraction? And for one thing, obviously, it's super awesome when you can experience multiple streams of income. When you have multiple streams of income, if one should wane, then the other one's going to kick in, and it carries you through some of the months where you might have lower production.
Absolutely, Amy. It gives a lot of opportunities, for agents to be getting that multiple streams of income. And when we look at eXp, our focus is never to gain agent attraction for agent attraction only. We focus on the high producing agents that want to take their business to that next level. But this is where opportunities are going to happen organically because they are so involved in today's market and they're selling real estate. They have the ability to meet agents all the time and be able to attract them to their organization at eXp. With other brokerages, they're attracting them, but they're not getting the benefit. However, here they're building their own second revenue stream.
I love that. And then it's not just for now, but you can actually build wealth for generations because you are able to will your revenue share to your child or whomever. They just have to get their license within 12 months of you passing that on to them. So I think that's just a really neat thing when you think about what you're doing today could affect generations to come. And I know I find that super exciting. It was one of the things that attracted me to eXp.
Absolutely. When we get into real estate, we never really think about what our exit strategy is going to be. We always focus on the now and never think about the future. And I don't know about you, Amy, but I've never attended a retirement party for a real estate agent. So for me, is having that, building that wealth so that you have the ability to retire, but not only just retire yourself, but building that wealth for a family member or your family after a long history in real estate is something that's phenomenal.
I agree. I know when Glenn created the model, he really he wanted to have the revenue share so that as you do your business and you slowly grow your revenue share, it's supplementary. It's a byproduct of you being in the business and being in production. So as a result of that, you're going to organically meet other agents, or you're going to align with other agents, or other agents are going to say, hey, tell me about eXp. And as you do that, just in doing your natural business, you are building an exit strategy because that builds on itself. So it's very exciting when Glenn, thought of this model that, that it literally is giving us the ability to not just be done with real estate when at our funeral, but we can actually have a plan for it and actually have a true retirement from real estate.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next question is, so now that you're into it, you're interested in building through attraction with your production, well, then how do you start? And really, it starts with just one. I don't think you need to get, overly exuberant or just like, I'm going to go crazy with attraction. So if you start with just one and you really think about as you're doing your sales, who is another person, another agent that you align with that is seeking out the same things as you are as far as education or being at events, networking, and just starting with one is really the first thing to do.
And also knowing the market, when you are involved in selling real estate and helping clients buy real estate, you're really involved in the market. Therefore, you're exposed to a lot of agents in your marketplace. They come to you for information. They want to know that if they join your organization, you're going to be able to assist them with the knowledge base that you have. So it's really important to be involved and to know the market, not just your direct market, but outside of your direct market as well. And the more involved you are, the more agents that you are are going to meet and the more agents that are going to be attracted to your organization to work with you. So be that agent that is in production, because production does equal attraction. And like we said before, how many agents have you attracted to past brokerages? Well, all you've gotten is a handshake or a pat in the back or a gift certificate somewhere. Here, you're just, building that organization so that you can have that extra stream of income.
I love that. And I love that you say, production equals attraction. We have it right there, but it truly does. No one really wants to be aligned with someone who doesn't understand the market and is not actively in the business of selling homes. So I think that that's a really great point. You also just want to make a list from, previous sales, other agents that you've worked with, maybe other brokerages, on who you think would really enjoy the different streams of income the way that you benefit from that here at eXp. So I think Gene Frederick says to make a list of 200. So, you can even start with 25 and just really think of, how you can reach out to them, because this company, this brokerage really is life-changing. And, you want to share that. So think of those agents that would be open to having a conversation, or again, accompanying you to any event. Who are those people? And make a list and look at it every day. Put it on the wall, put it right next to your desk.
It's funny, Amy, when we talk about attraction and agents ask, where do I start? Going back to the first question, it's exactly the same thing as production. As we lay out our business plan to do production, which is, prospecting every single day, the same exact business plan can be applied to attraction. And, when you're selling real estate, it just becomes easier because those clients, those people that you want to attract, are at your fingertips because you're doing transactions with them every day.
I love that. Yep. And then we do have a wealth chart, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but there is an attraction toolkit. And in that attraction toolkit is a wealth chart that you can print out. Again, it's going to be a reminder of who is on your list, making sure you're following up at the highest level. And then it's going to also look at your goal. And so we want to start trending towards your goal. And, the more you have your goals in front of you, the more likely you are to hit them. So you want to put it in a place, whether it be near your desk, on the refrigerator, on your bedpost when you look at it at night, wherever it is. You want to make sure that you're tending to it, you're tracking what you're doing, how your goals are being met, and just to keep an eye on that. So go look for that wealth chart in the attraction toolkit.
Do we want to go to the next slide?
We can. I just want to say another thing. When you are reaching out to agents, if you use the Ford method, is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So when you call these agents, don't just eXp on them, as I would say. We really want to get into a deeper relationship with these other agents and really care about their business. So usually it's time on task over time when we're talking to these agents, and it's usually not instant. Sometimes it is, and so that's a great surprise. But most of the time it's going to be, really building an authentic relationship, asking questions, following up with them, asking about their kids, their dogs, their spouse, their mothers, and really getting to know these people. And that's when they start to build trust, and you're building a relationship where they want to go with you to some of the events that you're going to. And so when it comes to inviting them, then it's easier because you guys are building a rapport. So yes, we can go to the next slide now.
And it's very important, Amy, not only just to build that rapport, but when you're calling them, to know your value proposition, know all the tools and technology that eXp has to offer and how it can help them progress in their career.
I love that. So again, we're talking about how being a producer can help you attract other agents, because you are then seen as an expert in the industry. Agents want to work with other agents. They want to know what you're doing to have closings, to get to the closing table, what kinds of marketing that you're doing, if you're using social media. They really want to see you out there walking the walk.
Absolutely. And that's going to give you more opportunities to interact with other agents. The more production that you do, the more opportunities that you get. And think outside the box. It doesn't necessarily have to be those agents that you work with every day. In our marketplace, you can easily put together a group of agents that are from different brokerages and have, a mastermind session where you guys are discussing what is happening in your direct area, in your local real estate market, and build those relationships early on. You never know where those relationships can lead.
I love that. I was talking at eXpCon in Miami to an agent, Daniel Ing, and he's a commercial agent, and he will often use his Blackstone to cook breakfast or to cook lunch and invite agents over. They have a mastermind, and then they will also go and do a tour afterwards. So they'll tour some of the commercial buildings that are on the market. So
I love that.
I do too. So really thinking outside the box and making it fun. I think that, we don't need to take everything so seriously, and, not everyone is going to want to run over to eXp, and that's okay. The more friends we have in the industry, the better of agents that we are. And at the end of the day, that's really what counts. And as we continue to build those relationships, then it's going to present an opportunity at some point for them to ask about eXp.
Absolutely. It may not be the right opportunity for them. However, they may know agents that are in the business that your organization can offer them a lot of help, and they can refer you that business.
Exactly. So again, I talked about Ford again, really deepening the relationship, being authentic, caring about the person on the other side of the screen of the phone, across the table at Starbucks. So just really, getting to know them. It's not all about you or what your wants are. It's really meeting them where they are.
Absolutely. And when agents are posting on social media, one of the things that they do is they post, but forget to go back and comment and interact. Interaction really goes back to the Ford approach. It's deepening that relationship. It's answering back to people that are engaging with you. So if you are going to be posting on your social media, please stay engaged with your audience.
Yeah. And note cards are, I was a team leader at a different brokerage before. And when I was going through social media, if something special happened in their lives, or, we had a great, powerful phone call, then I would sit and write like a short little note card, like, oh, it's so great talking to you. I was really impressed with, A, B, C, or D. I hope you have a great week, and I can't wait to connect again. And that would be sometimes the game changer. Game changer is really putting that note card out there. And I know I read Ninja Selling like a ton of times, and that was one of the things that they said, two note cards a day. And it really is rewarding because people aren't used to getting snail mail. And so when they get it, they're so excited, and they're like, oh my gosh. And actually, one of our very own agents that we have here, Connor Steinbrook, I sent him a note card a couple of years ago. He still has it pinned to his bulletin board because he's like, it just meant so much to me to be able to get that from you, and that you appreciated me. So people really like to be appreciated. And so note cards are just that little simple something that takes the relationship to the next level.
Absolutely. Especially in today's age, no one writes anymore. You don't get anything in the mail that's personalized to you. So I think that's super, super important. And, talking about personal videos on birthdays or special occasions, after we finished the conference in Miami, I got a lot of videos from agents just, saying how great it was to get together, see each other. Thank you for the meeting. And it puts that special touch in your heart. Like, thank you for thinking of me and sending that video. So I think it's really important to connect on a personal level with whomever you are talking to by sending those videos.
Me too. Have you ever heard of commission breath, Nadia?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that you can have revenue share breath too. And so I think that it's really authentically figuring out, what the person needs and helping them, and having the highest level of service given to them through you. And so not having commission breath and not having revenue share breath is because it's very detectable.
Yes.
So just making sure, like when you're doing all these things, like again, I've said this a bunch of times, but making sure it's coming from an authentic place, and you really wanting to build that relationship.
People want to feel that you want to help take them to that next level, right? They don't want to feel that, you are benefiting and that's why you are trying to attract them to your organization. They truly need to feel that authentic tone that you want the same future for them as you have for yourself.
I love it. And that's why production is so important, because we are high producers, as you said at the beginning, at eXp, and we want to showcase that.
Mhm.
So no better way than for you to show the value proposition that we have here with all the different classes we have, with the referral division that we have, with the referral groups that we have. There's so many different things to plug into here at eXp, that will make us so much more productive. And you want to be able to know that and share that. So, Nadia, this was your line. The art of attraction looks just like the art of sales. And that's what you said.
Yes.
So, yeah. So how do you get started? And it is just by really setting your goal first. And that's not on here, but really setting a goal for yourself. And, you know, when you look at, and we'll talk about this later, but when you look at revenue share, again, it's a crock pot build. It's not a microwave build. So you just want to carve out, most of your time, 80% of your time or more is going to be spent on production. So all the things that you do to have more production, to sell more houses. And so, but if you could carve out 15 to 30 minutes a day, just depending on your goal, and being super consistent with it, you will start to see things happen. It's just the same as with your with selling houses. You have to put in the time. It doesn't people don't magically show up in your revenue share organization. Listings don't magically show up in your lap. You have to do the activities that is going to get you to the place where someone's going to say, yes, I do want you to be the person to list my house. You've got to get in front of them. So it's the same thing. You've got to carve out the time. You've got to time block it on your calendar, and you've got to be consistent with it.
I love that, Amy. And one of the things that agents don't take into consideration is as you have a CRM for your production, you should have a CRM for your attraction as well. We have a CRM for what we do every single day. Follow up is key, and being consistent in your follow up is really, really important. And not sending a canned email every single time. Customize that, make it sound like you. They want to hear from you. So as you have your CRM for production, you should have one for attraction as well.
I totally agree with you, as I always do. And then being committed, as we said, carve out the time and be committed. Don't be just interested, be committed. So if you've carved out 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, be committed to that, and don't get hung up on the results, because it's time on task over time, and results will start to show up. Nothing happens. There's no magic button. So you have to keep showing up, adding value, and you're going to get better. Your conversations are going to get better. You're going to be plugging into eXp and understanding the value better of what we have here, through those third-party edification calls. You're going to hear how other people talk attraction. And so you're going to get stronger in your skill set to talk to other agents about why eXp is such an amazing place for you to hang your license, and and to be your forever brokerage.
And Amy, when they're talking to agents that they do want to attract, that discovery is really, really important. The key to getting someone's attention is finding out what is it that they need that they currently don't have. And a lot of times they don't know that they don't have it, and they actually need it in their business. And that's why power is in the questions, and you're listening. You have to listen to what they say and be able to find a solution for the problems that they bring up.
Yeah, and again, like if you don't know the solution, look to the people at eXp who have built an incredible organization, and ask them to help you. eXp is amazing for collaboration. They want to help you in your journey, whether it be for production or whether it's attraction. So reach out to others, and if you can just get them interested, and you can't quite get them across the finish line, look to other agents to help you do that, to help edify.
And involve the growth team. You have many people on your growth team that are more than happy to jump on a call with you and help you with that prospect and getting them over the finish line.
Absolutely. And we've got a slide for that later.
We do.
So let's talk a little bit, Nadia, about that exit strategy, and or building generational wealth, the retirement that we talked about. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So, when you're looking at building that exit strategy for yourself, you don't automatically stop production and jump right into attraction. The best results is when you're doing both at the same time. And then you start to find yourself leveling off, making the same in attraction possibly that you do in production. And that's when you need to start thinking about, how do I want to handle this? Do I want to continue having my team or producing the same amount as I'm producing? Or do I want to focus a little bit more on attraction and being able to benefit the people that I attracted with referrals that I can send them from my production business? Both are good. We have agents that continue doing the same thing, but it's you that decides when is it that you want to maybe not focus so much on the production and focus more on the business that you are building, which is the attraction side of things.
Yeah, and I think that I know we have like an analogy of that coming up, and I give credit to Russ Lagan for the bucket analogy. But when we're looking at, when you want to pull back from sales and you want to go more into attraction, there's probably a number that you're going to feel pretty comfortable with that at. And this is very generally speaking, because it depends on, the agents in your organization is going to depend greatly on their productivity and, obviously how many agents you have in there that are in your organization that are productive. But in general, agents are worth somewhere between $600 to $900 per agent once they're in a larger organization. So if you had 100 agents in your organization, then you're probably going to make somewhere around $60,000 for the year. So imagine if you had 300 agents, and it's again 600 to 900 agents, then you're looking more at what is that, Nadia? 180,000. 180,000. I'm doing math in my head. So 180,000. So where is that line where, it feels pretty good and it's consistently like that where you could maybe, work more then on the business than in the business. And you could start to pull back on your own production, maybe give that to a team member or refer out to another agent. So you get to decide when that is. So as you're building your journey and you're making your wealth chart, kind of remember, keep that in mind, and you'll start to see it coming in. And as you're doing that, you also want to see when you're attracting agents, who is it that is passionate about multiple streams of income and wants to build the way you do. You always want to find a couple of those in each line, because they're going to be super excited. They're going to lock arms with you and be rowing in the same direction and wanting to build. And that's how we get, agents in not only our first line, but then our second line, third line, fourth line, and so on. So you want to find those builders, those leaders, we call them the generals, that are going to be boots on the ground. Also very, very much leaning into who is interested in coming to eXp, and who can I invite to events, and who can I show the value of eXp to. So always be looking for those guys.
Absolutely, Amy. And to elaborate a little bit on that is, when you have agents that you are attracting, your generals, as you called them, when you start working on your business of attraction, please document everything that you do so that you're able to teach them as well on how you do your attraction and be able to assist them in attracting other agents. One of the things that you did is attract agents to your organization to be able to give them the same opportunity that you have in building an organization as well. So they're going to look to you as a leader to help them build that organization. And in return, it's going to benefit not only them, but you as well and your exit strategy.
Excellent point. Everything that you do, you want it to be duplicatable and reproducible. So as you're thinking about that, you're showing them the pathway, the way. And so that's why you really want to look for people that align with the same, values and the way that you run your business. You kind of want to make sure that they're in tune to that. And then you want to get them plugged in as much as you can. Get them in the mastermind classes, get them, collaborating with other great team leaders, so that they feel very much a part of eXp, and you're not the only one pouring value into them, and you're pouring value into them at the same time. So it's an excellent point. Here's the famous bucket analogy. So as Nadia was talking about before, the bucket on the left of the screen is how you're going to start out with production. So as you are in production, you have listings, you're a buyer's agent, you're going to come across other agents. You're going to meet them also at events or in classes, training. And so as you're focusing on the big bucket on the left, then you're going to start adding to the smaller bucket on the right. So again, it's a byproduct of what you're doing on the daily for your real estate production business. Eventually, what should happen, and again, it's going to be based on your goals, how committed you are to your goals, and how purposeful you are about spending that committed time every single day to work on attraction. But eventually, that bucket on the left might become the attraction bucket, and the bucket on the right might be more of your production bucket. So that is when you can start to see an exit strategy, and you're going to be working more on the business rather than in the business. So you'll see a flip flop. And I do owe that to Russ Ligan. He does it a little bit differently. So if you can imagine houses, like putting houses in that bucket on the left and putting people in the bucket on the right. And then eventually the bucket on the right is going to be full of people and there'll be less houses on the left. So you'll need a bigger bucket for your right and a smaller one on the left. So it inverts. Does that make sense, Nadia?
I love this analogy. It makes complete sense because that's exactly what ends up happening is that, you are selling properties every day. You're helping buyers every single day. You're showing value. And then one comes up and says, hey, I'm interested in where you work. Can I join your organization? And then they start spilling. So over time, we're hoping that one starts to not outweigh, but even be equal to. So that could be your deciding factor of when you want to focus on your business rather than be in the business.
Exactly. And when Russ first did this analogy, I was like, oh my gosh, like that makes perfect sense. I talk about this all the time, but sometimes when you can visualize it, it just makes a big difference. So we wanted to include that today. So thank you, Russ. We also have some amazing things that we have at eXp that we've come up with so that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. Mm-hmm. We have an eXp Explain deck that we're actually rebuilding right this instant. But we have that really helps to guide you through all the key points about eXp. So you can go online. Most likely you can find someone that has explained it and really study it and see how they've done it. And then as you start to meet agents, or you may even want to have an eXp explained lunch and learn. So we have that on hand for you. We are rebuilding it now with all the updated revenue share 2.0, and we're making it a little bit more user friendly.
And Amy, one of the key points of how important using a slide deck or a presentation when you're talking to potential agents that you are trying to attract is it's not only information that you're providing, but it keeps you on point with the information flow that you should be presenting to that agent. Sometimes we get too excited because we love where we are that we jump and we forget different points. Agents that you are attracting want to come to eXp because they see the value that you saw when you first joined eXp. They see that it's going to help them with their production. Don't jump right to the end and talk about the revenue share. Talk about our value first, and then our revenue share is going to be the cherry on top. Show them the value, and by sticking to the eXp Explain slide deck, it takes you through the motions of how to explain the tools and services and value proposition that we have.
It does. And I always think of it, I got this from Rich Tomasini, but as a 3-lane highway. You have your real estate business, right? And so usually you're going fast in the real estate business. And as you're doing that, you're gonna be awarded with stock. Just from doing the business you're already doing at another brokerage. When you come to eXp, by doing the same amount of business, you are going to be awarded stock because there's 5 different ways you can get stock at eXp. And then the third lane is going to be that attraction lane. And so you can either choose to get into that lane or not. But but you should, because organically, as we said at the beginning, agents are going to show up and they are going to want to know. And the more that you have the explain deck and that you're going over it with agents, you're going to get better at it. And you're going to really understand all that we have at eXp and why agents should come here, because their business is going to explode if they plug in. So the more you use it, the better you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Also, we just have an attraction toolkit that the marketing team worked with the growth team on building. And so it's going to have a lot of things in there for you. It's got videos in there that has, how to talk to an agent about eXp, how to explain revenue share 2.0. It has clips of Leo talking with Brian Carruthers about, eXp versus, imitators, and, just all different kinds of great information that you can grab onto and use. And so there's a link right here, but we're really excited about the growth and attraction toolkit that we just built. And it's live. So as things change, it will change. So it will be ever evolving.
I love it, Amy. And, for everyone on here is don't reinvent the wheel. These are, proven that they get results. Use the tools that are available to you and always reach out to the Grow team to be able to help you. Sometimes you just want to go through, an attraction call and see how you can perfect it. Reach out and talk to them.
I love that. And study, really do know the model. Like, I think it's really important when someone asks you a question, you don't always have to know the answer, but please try to understand the basics of the model, because if you really love where you are, then you're going to understand the nuts and bolts of it. So, go over all those things yourself, like make it a habit to, study the model and, what is the model? How does it benefit you as an agent? How does revenue share work? Like, just make sure that you understand it at a basic level. And then again, you can always use other agents to edify and the growth team. And then just know there are different styles of attraction. Some agents attract a lot through social media. They might be TikTok kings or queens, or Instagram. As we've described here to you, we did it based on relationships. But you can be like a professional inviter. You can be a connector. Like you can attract through production, as we also talked about through here. But in knowing all that, just know that you have a team of other agents and the growth team that are ready, willing, and able to help you in any way. We love this company and we want to build it and we want to help you build. So. Anything else to add on the growth and attraction piece here for the tools?
I think everything you said is amazing, Amy. One of the things is, yes, everybody has a different style of attraction, and sometimes you may not know what your style is. So I encourage you to try as many as you can and see which one works out the best for you. You never know which one is going to work better than the other, and which one that you're talented in. But I always suggest that you dive into all to be able to carry out your business through all different types of attraction styles.
Perfect. So again, how do you get so you've got them interested, how do you get them to a yes? So we've talked about this before, but having that third party call is super important. You can do it alone. It says never do it alone, but in the beginning you may not want to, but it just really helps for them to have, it usually helps to have another person just like solidify everything that you're feeling. So and choosing someone that they would relate with is really important. I know today I was on a call with another female leader, and not that guys can't talk to females and vice versa, but sometimes they want to talk to another female leader and see like, what's your experience there? Mm-hmm. So sometimes, if you're a gal and you've got someone that another guy that is interested, maybe it might help them to talk to another guy at eXp. So, just not being afraid to ask for help again.
And I find it mostly, Amy, with brokerages and team leads, is that if you're an individual agent attracting a brokerage or a team to the company, they would want to talk to another team to see what their experiences was like, and also what they did to prepare for the move and what they need to have in place. So don't shy away from reaching out for help. Everyone is here to assist you.
And you're so right. And if it's an independent brokerage, like when you get to that level, for them to be able to talk to another indie that has come over successfully and what their experience has been like is invaluable. So, really knowing how to make those connections. And if you don't know who those connections are, you can ask us at the growth team. We have a slew of those examples that we can provide for you, and we can help you connect those people as well.
Absolutely. Before you go to this one, Amy, one of the things that I wanted to mention is your last point is know the model. It's super important. In order to sell what you have or in order to attract to what you have to have full knowledge of what it is that you have at your company, and also educate yourself on different models that are out there, because believe it or not, they're going to ask you, they're going to compare. So if you're able to have just a general understanding of who our competitors are and be able to compare it to eXp, that is going to go a long way, because rather than allowing them or having them do their own research, you're able to answer their questions and handle that objection right on the call with them so that they don't have to go and dig in after the call.
That's great. Great advice. I love that. So we were just talking about larger opportunities. So obviously, when you do have a larger opportunity, like a team or a brokerage, you're going to get to your goal faster because generally that means more agents are coming. So that can be really exciting. But you need to make sure that when you're talking to those larger opportunities, first of all, you want to build a relationship and you want to understand their pain. You want to stay. It's not a microwave recipe, it's a crock pot. So you're going to want to stay in the relationship with them, and continue to invite them to things and events that we're having. We have rallies. Nadia is going to be at rallies like all month. Do you have one tomorrow?
Yeah, I have one tomorrow. Actually, all month we have rallies in Canada. So it's super exciting to be able to, get agents to come out and just see, the kind of culture that we have at eXp and bring everyone together.
Yeah. And again, reiterating, if you have a team or you have an independent brokerage, being able to connect them with someone, another team or another independent brokerage is going to be really important for them to understand the value of eXp through that lens. So for the US, we also have regional directors. So we have, and there's a graph coming up, but we have Frank, who is a VP in the East. We have Russ, who's a VP in the West. And then we have Mr. Tony King, who is a VP for California, Texas, and Florida. We also have 11 other regional directors. And the reason that we just finalized all their roles in mid-September, and it's so that we have the ability to really create that community feel, so that someone is able to get into the trenches with you, have those conversations with you, and have the bandwidth to be able to do that. So we're super excited about all that they're doing. They're already having lots of success. So again, you have the VPs, and then we also have Leo, our very own CEO, who loves to get on calls with independent agents or independent brokerages, or larger teams, and just share his vision. He is a CEO that is in the trenches with us. He rolls up his sleeves and he gets in there. He wants to know the agent. So I say you have a lot of different avenues, and depending on who you're talking to, we've got a plethora of assistance for you.
Amy, sometimes it can become intimidating when you're looking at larger independent brokerages or larger teams to be able to talk to that team leader or that broker owner and talk to them about eXp. However, everyone is open to a conversation. The answer might be no right now, but everyone is open to the conversation. And once you plant that seed, it can come into fruition 6 months, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. But now you have them in the follow-up process. So don't be afraid to ask the question for them to hear about it, because they may not be interested now, but you never know what happens in their business that you've already educated them on the platform that you have, and they have that knowledge and they have that out to go to that platform.
Yeah. And oftentimes you'll hear when I'm talking to a team or a brokerage, they're like, I had talked to a lot of agents before, but they never explained it in the way that this potential sponsor did, or they never got me in front of a regional director or a VP to actually show me what it looks like financially for me to be over here. And
Mhm.
so that's the difference, knowing the model and then knowing when to reach out when you need help. That is what gets them to the yes. So super
Yeah,
important to be connected, to be attending the rallies, get to know other agents, and that's when larger opportunities will show up. But even if it's just, and not just, but individual agents are really important too, because they could be a connector to the others. So you never know when that one agent might be like such a great opportunity for future growth.
absolutely.
Yeah. So Nadia is in Canada, and Nadia, are you alone over there? Like, who is your support system over
So
there?
I have Angela Gorner, who is in agent success, and I have Rebecca Lozer, who is growth support on my team in Canada.
Okay, awesome.
Shout out
So
to them; they do phenomenal.
they do. I love them. They have been, I got to hang out with them in Miami. They were awesome.
Yeah.
So I already told you about these guys, but Frank Panuto is VP of Growth for the East. Tony King is VP of Growth for California, Florida, and Texas. Russ Lagan is VP of Growth in the West. And then we have the amazing Susan McLean, who's VP of Agent Success in the U.S. She does a lot of really cool things, educating our teams. We're doing team certification, and then she provides us with a lot of great data and really shows agents where it's important for them and teams where it's important for them to plug in for the highest level of success.
Mhm.
So I love these guys. They're incredible, and gals. And then these are all our regional directors. I'm not going to go over them, but they are just incredible, and they are willing to get on a call and strategize with you about growth. Again, because we have them regionally now, they can get super hyper local. The intention is for them to do monthly in real life events. So make sure that you're looking at the calendar of events to see when those are, and get to know these guys. If they are in your state, in your region, then you want to get to know them and use them at the highest level. Again, like they'll strategize with you. We have a tool called Corded.io, and they can really get in there and see where there's some great opportunities for you to get more information on agents that you are looking at to attract. So we can get in there and see a lot of analytics in Corded.io. So I think that's it, Nadia. Do you have any takeaways, like any huge takeaways?
For everyone that has watched our masterclass, thank you for watching. We're here to support you at any given time, and this is what we do every day. Amy and I are very passionate about eXp and what we do on a daily basis. So please reach out to us because we're here to assist you and help you build your future with eXp.
Well, I can't say it any better than that. I do. I mean, that was it, girl. We are super passionate about the growth of eXp. We love this brokerage and everything that it's doing for us and our agents. And so I agree with Nadia. Like we want to be a tremendous resource for you. So if you reach out to us, you can chat us, you can email us. Don't email me though. I'd much rather do a chat. So but we're here for you. We want to help you grow, and in your growth, that equals our success too. So please know that we're here for you. Thank you
Thanks,
for
everyone.